The New Day's message shocks WWE. Triple H faces a new challenge. AEW fallout nobody expected. WWE vs. AEW tension explodes. The New Day changes everything. What if the biggest moment coming out of AEW Dynamite wasn't actually about a match, a championship, or even a major surprise appearance? And what if the New Day's latest message was something that Triple H and WWE never expected to hear? Because after the latest AEW Dynamite fallout, the wrestling world has been talking, debating, and trying to figure out if this was just another moment of entertainment or the beginning of something much bigger. A single message has created questions everywhere, and now fans are wondering what happens next. Before we break down everything, make sure you hit the like button because wrestling stories like this always have more going on beneath the surface. Sometimes a simple comment becomes a huge storyline, and sometimes fans spend hours connecting dots that may or may not even exist. But that's wrestling, and honestly, that's part of the fun. We love the mystery. We love the drama. We love trying to figure out what the next move is before anyone else sees it coming. The latest AEW Dynamite aftermath has created a lot of noise because the New Day, one of WWE's most successful and recognizable groups, suddenly became the center of attention after sending a message that many fans believe was directed toward Triple H and WWE. And the interesting thing about this situation is that the reaction wasn't only about the words themselves. It was about the timing. It was about the history behind those words. It was about why this message happened at this exact moment. Because when you have a group with the history and influence of the New Day making people stop and pay attention, you know there is something worth discussing. For years, the New Day has been a group that completely changed expectations. When they first started, not everyone believed they would become what they eventually became. Some people questioned the idea, questioned the direction, and wondered if they could truly connect with fans long term. But they proved everyone wrong. They turned themselves into one of the most entertaining and respected teams of their generation. They weren't just successful because of championships or victories. They were successful because they understood something important about wrestling. It's not just about what happens in the ring. It's about creating a connection. It's about making fans feel something. It's about creating moments that people remember years later. And the New Day did exactly that. They could make people laugh 1 minute, then deliver a serious and emotional performance the next. That balance is extremely difficult to achieve. 1 second they're joking around, acting completely wild, and the next they're standing across from their opponents in a serious fight. Wrestling fans know that strange combination somehow works perfectly. It's one of those things where you can't explain it, but you know it when you see it. The New Day became proof that a group could be entertaining without losing credibility. They could be funny without becoming meaningless. They could evolve without losing the identity that made fans love them in the first place. So when they send a message that gets everyone talking, people naturally start asking questions. Was there a hidden meaning behind it? Was this a planned statement? Was it just a way to create attention? Or was there something bigger happening that fans haven't fully understood yet? That's where things become interesting. Because after AEW Dynamite, the conversation shifted. Fans weren't only talking about what happened on the show. They were talking about what the message could mean for the future. And wrestling fans are experts at analyzing everything. A look. A pause. A certain choice of words. Everything becomes evidence. Sometimes fans are completely wrong, but sometimes they somehow predict exactly what is coming. It's one of the funniest things about wrestling. You can have thousands of people confidently explaining a theory that sounds impossible, and then a month later it actually happens. That's why nobody ever fully ignores fan theories. Some people believe the New Day's message was simply part of the ongoing competition between WWE and AEW. After all, both companies are constantly trying to create memorable moments and capture fan attention. The wrestling world has always been built around competition, even when things are not officially presented that way. Fans compare shows. Fans compare talent. Fans debate who is making the biggest moves. And every major moment becomes part of a bigger conversation. But other fans believe there is more to this situation. They believe the timing is too interesting to ignore. They believe the New Day knew exactly what they were doing. And they believe Triple H and WWE were put in a position where they had to notice. Because the reality is, when a major name from WWE creates attention connected to AEW, people are going to talk. It's unavoidable. The wrestling community immediately starts asking what it means. Is this a warning? Is it a tease? Is it the beginning of a rivalry? Or is it simply two worlds of wrestling creating another moment that gets fans excited? The possibilities are what make this so interesting. Now imagine being Triple H and watching the reaction unfold. WWE has spent years building a new era, trying to respect the past while creating something fresh for the future. Every decision is analyzed. Every storyline is judged. Every move is watched closely by millions of fans. And moments like this remind everyone that wrestling cannot always be controlled. You can prepare a script. You can plan a segment. You can decide where a story begins. But you cannot always predict how fans will react when something unexpected happens. Sometimes one moment completely changes the conversation. And that's exactly what happened here. The New Day's message created curiosity. It created debate. It created questions. And in wrestling, sometimes creating questions is the most powerful thing you can do. Because once fans start wondering, they start watching closer. They start paying attention. They start looking for the next clue. And suddenly, a regular moment becomes something much bigger. Some fans want WWE to respond immediately. They want a major confrontation. They want a dramatic moment where everyone realizes something important is happening. They want that classic wrestling feeling where one scene changes everything. And honestly, who doesn't love those moments? The kind where you're sitting there thinking, there's no way they just did that. Those are the moments fans remember. But others believe everyone might be overanalyzing. They think sometimes wrestling fans turn every little thing into a huge mystery. And again, they might have a point. We have all seen fans create a theory so complicated that even the wrestlers involved probably need a map to understand it. But that's also what makes wrestling different. The audience is part of the experience. Fans don't just watch. They analyze, predict, argue, and create their own versions of what could happen next. The New Day has always understood how to capture attention. They understand timing. They understand storytelling. They understand that getting people talking is a major part of professional wrestling. So whether this was carefully planned or simply a moment that exploded, the result is the same. Everyone is watching. Everyone is wondering. And now the pressure is on WWE. What happens next? Does Triple H respond? Does WWE ignore it? Does this become part of a bigger storyline? Or does it disappear like many wrestling moments before it? Because that's the unpredictable nature of this business. Something can seem like nothing today and become incredibly important tomorrow. The New Day's impact also goes beyond this one situation. They helped change how people viewed tag teams. They showed that a group could be entertaining, emotional, and successful all at once. They proved that wrestling is not only about athletic ability. It's about personality. It's about storytelling. It's about creating a reason for fans to care.